Good morning, welcome back. The artists and artwork of Marvel, DC, Star Wars, and Disney are coming to Jacksonville, and they're being brought by a familiar name. Zach and Patrick Kinkade are with me this morning. This is the brother and nephew of Thomas Kinkade, that artist who's known for scenic pastoral works that are so ingrained in American culture now. Zach and Patrick, thanks for being with us this morning. I wanted to talk about this new project. It's called the Thomas Kinkade Studios Generations, and immediately you can see what's different than the original Kinkade works. Tell us about these paintings. Obviously, they feature pop culture characters.
Exactly. Well, Tom was a fan of popular culture. He really was. He loved to study it and understand the meanings to society at large. And all of these paintings reflect that interest. We're working with a lot of very big brands and big names in art, Disney and Star Wars and what have you, creating and capturing the images that resonate so much with the American public.
And talk to me about how you got this idea, because you think of, everybody knows Thomas Kinkade paintings, but they don't think of, Mickey Mouse, Superman.
Yeah.
Where did this idea come from?
Well, I mean, the Disney connection comes just from personal experience. Everybody loves Disney. My dad used to take us to Disneyland every year, and Tom enjoyed that experience so much that he wanted to eventually translate that onto canvas. All the other ones, again, it says he was a student of popular culture. We would attend Comic-Con. We would do a lot of things in order to immerse ourselves in that particular reality. And out of those realities we experienced, Tom created these images, which have now since been carried on by the Thomas Kinkade Studios.
And I want to talk about the studios for a minute. We know that Thomas passed away about 10 years ago in 2012, but of course his works have permeated offices, workplaces, schools, homes. I want to quote a report from The Guardian in 2012. At the time of Thomas Kinkade's death, they reported that 1 in every 20 American households had a Kinkade painting in it. That's an incredible reach.
It is amazing when you think about it. I mean, I often reflect back on that, and just to be a part of it was incredibly exciting. But, art serves a variety of purposes. Art can serve to overcome dogma, it can serve to challenge, but it can also comfort people. And I think that those themes of comfort and family and patriotism and love and romance are really what resonated with the American people. They would bring a Kinkade into the house and would change that house into a home.
And I want to talk a little bit more about what Thomas's real mission was. He's sort of known as, he had a nickname. Can you guys tell me that?
The Painter of Light.
The Painter of Light. Talk to me about what that means and how you're sort of carrying that legacy forward.
Well, the Painter of Light really meant a couple things. Once, Tom painted in a luminous style, and that means as you lower ambient light on a given piece, the internal lights come on. People think it's magic, and it is. I've sat in studio with Tom thousands of times having him try to explain that to me, and he understood the physics of light better than any physicist that I could think of. So it's the idea of causing that internal glow, but it's also the idea of light, the spiritual light. There's a variety of things that people need. We also face obstacles in our lives, and we need help to get through those obstacles, whatever they may be. And it could be family, it could be friends, it could be some higher other. The light represented that to the viewer.
Tell us where our viewers can see these in town this weekend.
What's the?
Studio 725, correct?
Gallery 725, yes.
And then obviously these are also available on thomaskinkade.com as
Absolutely.
well. Zach and
Pat.
Forgive me.
And Joe.
Pat and Zach Kinkade, thank you so much for being with us.
It was a
We've
pleasure.
got more information on this gallery. Of course, these are showing Gallery 725 tomorrow from noon to 2 p.m., 6 to 8 p.m. Also Sunday, 1 to 3 p.m. You can RSVP at that email there on your screen. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you so much.